Alright, today we'll start with the next concept, that is salt, right? So where do you use this salt? Yeah, for preparing food. Without salt, food will not taste good, right? Salt is mandatory. But we are going to study what is the chemical feature, what is the chemistry behind this salt. Okay. So now here, salts are substances, they are formed when acid reacts with a base. You all know what is meant by acids and base. So when these acid and base, they combine or they react with each other, we get salts. So salts are substances formed when an acid reacts with a base. So here, this reaction also we call it as a neutralization reaction, right? So when salt is forming, when acid is reacting with the base. So that reaction we call it as a neutralization reaction. So what is this neutralization reaction? It is a reaction between an acid and base to produce a salt, water and heat. So remember, neutralization reaction is a reaction that is taking place between an acid base to produce salt along with the another products like water and heat. Some examples here have shown, that is hydrochloric acid. Hydrochloric acid, it is an acid when it reacts with the base, that is sodium hydroxide, right? Hydrochloric acid that reacts with the sodium hydroxide, which is base, it produces salt called sodium chloride. It is also known as a common salt which we use in a preparation or cooking food. Along with that, the products are formed like water and heat. Remember, sodium hydroxide, it is a base. Hydrochloric acid, it is an acid. When they react with each other chemically, it forms salt called sodium chloride along with the water. So neutralization reaction is a reaction where acid and bases react together to form a salt. Okay, so this is what the chemical equation for getting salt when acid and bases combine or react with each other chemically. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, shall we move to next?
Yes, ma'am.
Now here we have some properties of salt. What are those properties? First is, here you can see most of these solids, solid salt, they have high melting point and the boiling point. Commonly the solid salts, like we have seen the common salt, that is sodium chloride, it is in the form of solid, so which has high melting point, even that is having higher boiling point. Next, most of the salt, they are soluble in water, right? Most of the salt, here we can take sodium chloride. Sodium chloride, it is a salt which is soluble in water. Next, these solid salts are neutral and they do not conduct electricity in their solution. They cannot. They do not conduct electricity in their solution, but their solution can conduct electricity. Salts cannot conduct electricity, but when we get solution of the particular salts, that solution may conduct electricity. Understand the difference between solution and salts. Salt is a solid, it cannot conduct electricity, whereas the solution of that salt, it may conduct the electricity. And here these salts, they can also be prepared in the laboratory. Now we have some uses of salts. First, we will see what are the salts, which are those like ammonium chloride, ammonium nitrate, calcium chloride, iron sulfate, magnesium sulfate, potassium nitrate, silver bromide, sodium chloride, sodium stearate. So these are what some of the salts, the chemical name of salts, which we can see the chemical name of salts. And here we have some of the uses where these salts can be used. First is ammonium chloride. It is used in the batteries, torch batteries. Okay. Next, you might be thinking how salt is used. Salt, in a sense, it is like a chemical. That chemical it is used in a batteries of torch. Next, ammonium nitrate. It is used in a fertilizers. Next, calcium chloride, it is used as a drying agent. So for drying agent, these chemical, that is calcium chloride, it is used. Next, iron sulfate. Iron sulfate, specially it is used for making iron tablets. Next, magnesium sulfate in medicines. Many medicines they may contain some of the salts. Among them, magnesium sulfate is also used for making medicines. Potassium nitrate, it is used for making gunpowder. Silver bromide. Silver bromide, it is used in photography. Next, sodium chloride, making NaOH, sodium hydroxide. For making sodium hydroxide, sodium chloride is used. Sodium stearate, it is used for making soap. So for many preparation of soaps, detergent, even salts are also used. Among them, sodium stearate is also used for making soaps.
Ma'am,
Yes. Now we have neutralization reaction in everyday life. What it means here, neutralization. That means it neutralizes acids and bases. Sometimes the acid may be more quantity, and in order to reduce it or in order to make it neutral, we are using bases. Sometimes base may be more, and for neutralizing base, we use acids. Okay, so you will not understand like this. If you see some of examples in your day-to-day life, you'll understand what is this neutralization reaction in everyday life. So among them we have, first is indigestion. So here indigestion, here you can see when you have food, there will be a digestion process in stomach, right? There will be a digestion process. So during the digestion process, hydrochloric acid is produced, and that hydrochloric acid, it is helpful in digesting food. But excess of hydrochloric acid, if there is a larger quantity of hydrochloric acid which is produced during digestion in the stomach, it may cause burning sensation. Sometimes it may cause you feel sensation of burning, right? And even the stomach will start pain. The painful feeling may be felt by you all when hydrochloric acid is produced in a larger amount in the stomach, and even the food may not digest. So that is called acidity. That situation is called acidity. What is that acidity? Excess of hydrochloric acid in our stomach, that is produced or that is caused when indigestion or pain of the stomach may happens, and that situation is called acidity. So how to reduce this acidity, how to get rid of this acidity, right? So when sometimes you may be suffering by acidity, so in order to reduce that, we use base. Okay, base which is used in medicines. So we take medicines, that medicines are especially made by the base products like magnesium hydroxide. Magnesium hydroxide, it is a kind of base which is used for making the medicines. When you take, you feel better, you feel relief after taking this. So this base reacts with the acid and it neutralizes that hydrochloric acid which is formed or which is produced larger amount in your stomach. And this magnesium hydroxide, it is also called milk of magnesia. Magnesium hydroxide, it is also called milk of magnesia. So to treat such indigestion which is caused by acidity, it is get rid by the base products like magnesium hydroxide medicines we take. and that is used for neutralizing excess acids which is produced in our stomach. Okay, so this base neutralizes the effect of acid. So this is one what the incident which you see in your daily life. Next one, tooth decay. What is this tooth decay? So when you have food, when you take food inside, some of the food particles remain as it is in between this tooth set, right? And these microorganisms, they react with that food item and they cause or they produce acid which is present over on the tooth set. Okay, so these food particles, because of these food particles and microorganism, acid is produced, and that acid which you can see that is harmful to your tooth set, right? So what you people are going to do if the acid is produced in the tooth set? You will use toothpaste, right? So when acid is produced, the dark dark stains, they are stuck with the tooth, you can see that is called tooth decay. So when food particles it is present on your tooth set, the microorganisms react with that food particles in order to produce the acids. And when acid is present on that tooth, you may call it as a tooth decay. Okay, so how to get rid of that tooth decay then? We use toothpaste. So toothpaste neutralizes the effect of acid. So this acid which is present over there, that will be neutralized with the help of toothpaste which is made up of the base products. This is second incident where you can neutralize this acid with the help of toothpaste. So when you brush your teeth using this toothpaste which contain bases, any kind of acid that is present in your mouth or the teeth cavities, it is neutralized. This helps in preventing tooth decay. So this toothpaste, they prevent tooth decay. Next we have ant bite. So what is this ant bite? Insect sting also we call it as. So here when an ant, okay, this ant, it bites your hand or any part of your body, so it stings us, it is very painful, it is very painful, and you feel very irritation, you feel very irritation on that part. So why it is because this ant, it secretes, it produces formic acid. Here you can see it produces formic acid from the from its mouth, and that formic acid, it will be very irritation and it is painful because of this acid which is secreted by this ant while biting on your skin. So how to get rid of this by pain or irritation? For this relief we use base. Okay, what kind of base we use? Here we use baking soda plus water. We make paste of this base called sodium hydrogen carbonate. It is a chemical, or it is a chemical name, or the base we can say. We make a paste of this base along with the water and we apply over on our skin where we are feeling painful and irritation on the skin which is bitten by the ant. So when that ant used to bite our hand, that time it will release or it will secrete the formic acid. That because of formic acid we feel irritation and itching. And that acid, it will be neutralized with the help of this base paste which we apply over the skin. So when we apply it on our skin, we may feel relief also. So this baking soda neutralizes the formic acid. So in this manner, we are using some of the bases in our daily life whenever we feel irritation or during our tooth decay or the hydrochloric acid which is produced in our stomach. This is also one of the incident which you can see in your daily life. Next, one more incident is soil treatment, or you can say the treating soil. Here you can see most of the plants grow best in neutral soil, but excess of use of fertilizers make soil either acidic or the basic. Uses of excessive fertilizers, they may what makes this soil either acidic or more basic. If more amount of acid is present in that soil, then the plants or the crops, they will not grow properly. Or if excess of more basic it is present in the soil during excessive use of fertilizers, it may also what harm to that crops or plants. So in order to get rid of that also, here we are using acids and base. Suppose here the filled soil, it contains more acids. During that time, farmers use base in order to neutralize that acid. So which kind of bases they are using? That is quicklime, and the chemical name is calcium oxide. Slaked lime, and the chemical name is calcium hydroxide. So these bases are used when that soil contains more amount of acid. In order to neutralize that acid, these bases are used. The balance will be done. Next, if that field is consisting of more amount of base, then in order to neutralize that base in the soil, organic matters are used which contain some kind of acids in animal waste and plant waste. Organic matter which we get from nature, usually they also contain acids. Okay, so these are what some of the incidents you can see where we can neutralize acids or bases in our everyday life. Okay, here one more incident you can see. Waste from the factories. Okay, these factories, they releases waste in the water bodies like rivers and ponds. Okay, here you can see the waste which is coming out from these factories, and they make them to flow that waste to the water bodies like ponds and rivers, and that water will become dangerous for aquatic animals like fish or any aquatic plants also. So that is very harmful for the water animals. And whenever they are disposing these waste from the factories to the river, it may contain more amount of base or it may contain more amount of acids also. So sometimes we can say these factories release more amount of acids only. So here this waste which is released or which is disposed by the factories, they contain acids. So in order to neutralize that acids, we use bases in order to neutralize that effect of acid which is present in the waste of the water which is released by the factories. So in order to make it clear or in order to make it clean, we use bases. So this is what neutralization reaction in our daily life. So when acidic waste from the factories are disposed of in the rivers, they are first treated with the bases to get neutralized. This prevents river water or the pond water or any ocean water to get rid of the acids. As acidic substance, they are very harmful to this aquatic life. We may call any aquatic animals or the plants also. So this is what some common neutralization reaction that are very helpful in our day-to-day life.